Hooty hoo, whiskey friends, far and wide, we are live. It is another Tasty Tuesday. I'm Eric, your humble malt muser. Welcome. It's happy hour. First happy hour of July 2021. We are kicking things off in style. It looks like we got a good crew in the house already. Always great to see. How's everybody doing? Everybody staying cool in this oppressive heat that some of y'all are probably dealing with? I know we're having a hot one here today in Chicago. But we're not here to talk about weather. We're here to talk about whiskey. So why don't we do that, shall we? Let me say hi to those who've ponied up to that virtual bar early, see what's going on, and then I will set up tonight's happy hour for y'all, and we will also get into what's coming up for Telix and Malt Show. That's right. After 2 weeks, Telix is back in the saddle. We are going to be getting into some whiskeys later on tonight. I'll tell you all about it. First in the door tonight, though, Calumet City, Illinois. Tamika Ivy. Hey. Hope your gorgeous hair is up. It's hot. Yeah, it is hot, and it is up. Great to see you, Tamika. Donner Pass out in California. Had a little bit of all the samples. Oh, great. Everything's good. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Donner Pass and I did a little whiskey swap, some samples recently. In fact, I'm going to be getting into one of his later this evening in the show. You'll find out what that is shortly. IC86. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, Lee Portman's midtrip. Hello. Is this where the whiskey happens? It is one among many places, yes. Nice to see you. Duluth, Minnesota, Mista French. Great to see everybody, and a happy 4th Americans. There you go. Good to see you, French. Hope you've been well. Folks saying hi to each other. Good. Need drams poured tonight, says Donner Pass. A little classic Lottie in the glass. Good call. I am once again sipping the Glenmorangie X. Not a bad little starter for the night. French, Kalila 15, unpeated, great pour. IC86, Maker's cask strength. Now he's got a Cherry Coke Zero. Okay. Switching it up a little bit there. Daniel, East Texas. Just poured some Heaven Hill 7 bib. Warming up for the B521. Yeah, definitely. Folks saying hi to good Daniel. Yeah, these are the samples that I had sent over to Donner Pass. Be curious which one of those you enjoyed the most so far, man. What else is going on? Paul in Montreal. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Staying cool. What does that even mean? Well, some of our friends out west who may not have air conditioners probably could have used them in the last week or so. Chris S., how's it going? Good to see you. Always good to have Chris in the house. At Malt Muser. Hope your part of Shiretown was quiet during the holiday week, and some areas seem to be gunshot. Yeah. My area, nothing really to note. But yeah, it's there's some places in Chicago you might not want to be spending too much time in. That is a fact. At least not during what's been some rough nights. Loves that Kalila 15. We got London in the house. It's James Morgan. He's got an ECBP C918. Nice. Still in the London stores. Great. Laguna was the winner. Yeah, I thought you might think so. That's an impressive one for sure. All right. Great, man. We got 9 folks in, which is awesome. Good to see everybody. So let me set things up for tonight. Here on the happy hour, it's Elijah Craig time. If you all know, been a fan of the show for some time now, you know that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is something I'm a huge fan of. Been so for years. I like to get them as soon as I can and open them as soon as I can. And normally I do a review video of these pre-recorded, but I'm going to review one live tonight because, to be honest, I just got my hands on this bottle, and so it's time to open it up. This is the latest one appearing on the shelves here in the U.S. This is the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is batch B521, so this is the May 5, 2021, and the B is the second release. It is 59.1% ABV, It is 12 years old, non-chill filter, just like we know and love from the folks at Heaven Hill. So this is the second release of the year. Very excited to uncork this tonight with y'all and see if the streak of just absolutely stellar releases from the Elijah Craig continue here with this latest one. After that, later in the show, I'm going to be doing a little tasting of a sample courtesy of our good friend, Donner Pass Whiskey. Shout out to you, brother. I'm going to stick with the bourbon and do the Booker's. This is 2017 second release, 63.7. It's called the Blue Knights batch. So we're going to check out 2 bourbons tonight. Love to get a good chat going. Has anybody had the new Elijah Craig Barrel Proof? We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that, or Booker's, or really anything in general. Barrel strength bourbons. So we're gonna do a little bourbon. It's summertime. I'll be honest with you. I like a good bourbon in the summer, and so I'm excited to get into these. But the bourbon thing isn't going to stick around all night. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, Telex the Whiskey Tech, who has been off for about 2 weeks, he is back, and so the Telex and Malt Show is on tonight. We are going to be checking out a kind of an obscure distillery over in Scotland. It isn't from the Speyside region, and it is called Linkwood. We're going to be doing the 12-year-old Linkwood Flora and Fauna release, and then in the second hour, we're going to be doing an Alexander Murray independent bottling. It's a 19-year-old cask strength Linkwood. So we're going to be checking out that distillery. If you know anything about them, it'll be great to have you join and share your thoughts. And if you're just looking to learn something about a new distillery, or a distillery not really new, but one that you haven't heard of before, or maybe ever had anything from, well, tonight's your night. So we are back at it. And of course, that means that right around 9 o'clock Eastern, I will drop that link in the chat, and we will head on over to Telex the Whiskey Tech's channel for the Telex and Malt Show and get into some Linkwood. So 3 hours of whiskey chat coming your way, as always, here on a Tuesday. Well, it hasn't been as always the last 2 weeks, but I'm still going to say it. We got 15 folks in, man. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Let me just catch up real quick on the chat, and then we're going to uncork this bad boy. I am excited for this. What else is going on? Hey, Tony, King of Prussia. What's up, buddy? My former neighbor. Good to see you, Tony, man. Everything is well. I hope everything's good with you, bud. Great to have you in the house. Interested in the opinion on the ECBP. Yeah, I'm excited to get into it. Question for the group. Who makes Woodford Reserve? Oh, that's a question I cannot answer. So I'm going to leave that to the group. Maybe somebody's already answered this. Bro, B521 was so exciting to pour some tonight. It's very good. I'm not going to give anything away beyond that. All right. Brown Foreman? I am not sure. Woodford. Who owns Woodford Reserve? Let's find out, shall we? Boy, I haven't had a Woodford Reserve whiskey in quite some time. Let's take a quick look here. They are owned by Brown Foreman. Yeah, James Morgan, you're right. Gold star for James. Mahir, Delhi, India. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. By the time I turned into a Scotch fiend, had a stash of bourbon built up, still have bottles of the ECBP 81. Wow, that C917, one of my favorite bourbons ever. I have not had that A batch. So those are the ones from 2017. Yeah, those are good ones to have in the bunker, my friend. Debating whether or not to try Woodford Reserve wheat whiskey. I did not even know that existed. Give it a try. Sounds pretty good if you're like wheaters. Peter White, he's got a 2016 ECBP open. Nice, man. Good to see you. Ontario, Canada. In the house. Folks saying hi to Mahir, saying hi to Peter White. Someone in England knew more about bourbon than us. Yeah. James Morgan don't play. Double oaked and rye from Woodford are always on my bar for the cost in the UK. You know, the double oaked is quite good. I have not even had the Woodford rye. I'm sorry to say. I visited the distillery 2 years ago. I don't think I even tried the rye. And I know that the rye is considered one of their kind of standouts. Yeah, I confess I'm pretty ignorant about Woodford Reserve stuff, as strange as that sounds. All right. Polish this off. Yeah, actually, let's not. Let's just leave that because I'm going to need something a little later. Okay, y'all, here we go. Boom. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is batch B521. So for those who don't know, Elijah Craig is from the Heaven Hill Distillery. It's a line based on this reverend who is considered to have done a whole bunch of firsts in bourbon, including the first to char American oak barrels. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but the brand label comes out of Heaven Hill. This one in particular, they all have batch numbers. So they do 3 batches a year, A, B, and C. A comes out in January, B in May, C in September. They usually hit the shelves about a month after that, give or take. So this is B521. So B batch 5 being May 2021 for the 21. This one in particular, bottled at 59.1% ABV, a little bit lower on the alcohol by volume than some of the previous releases. So usually that is what you see with the B batches, I've found, but I don't know if that's intentional. And on the side here, it tells you it's 12-year-old whiskey and it is barrel proof. So it checks every box. As you all know, I mean, this whiskey routinely makes my top 5 whiskeys of the year. I try to get my hands on every one of these as soon as I can because I just find them all to be so great. And I'll tell you, the last 5 or so of these, all of the releases from 2020 were absolutely stellar. I don't think I've had, I think the C batch from last year, or was it 2019, might have been the first one that I wasn't like completely wowed by in quite some time. It was either 19 or 20. I don't quite remember. So anyways, that's the story here, the tail of the tape, if you will, on the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, the latest release here. Let's crack this bad boy open. There we go. Pretty weak pop. Oh, man. So just so folks know, Elijah Craig tends to be a little bit higher on the rye and malted barley side. So, you know, their whiskeys have a bit of spice. It is a beautiful color. Bourbon is all natural. They don't need to tell you it's non-natural color because it has to be by law. There you go. Looking great. All right. Second one of the year. I did do a review of the A121. So I did review the latest one. You can check that out back in the archives of the show on the channel if you're interested. I do actually have a playlist of all the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof videos I've done. Let's get into it. Here we go. Right away, it's just a delicious nose. It's a little bit prickly, but what do you expect? It's nearly 60% ABV. Roasted nuts, caramel, vanilla, charred oak. It's just really warm and inviting. I mean, it's what bourbon's all about right here. Great nose. It's nothing, you know, this is a neck pour, of course, but nothing really super unique coming through. I mean, there is the cinnamon. It's less of like a cinnamon candy. It's more like, you know, ground cinnamon. My, oh my, is that good. I am actually a little surprised at the alcohol bite I'm getting on this. One of the more stellar releases, in my opinion, was the B520, which came out last year in May. That one I found to just be amazing, and I'll get back to that as we taste this. But all in all, the nose here, it's not very complex, actually. Pretty standard, heavy bourbon notes. But it smells delicious. And yeah, again, there is this ethanol bite that I'm a little bit surprised by. I usually don't get it quite as much here. Okay. Well, let's give it a taste. Cheers, y'all. Happy Tasty Tuesday. Ooh, it's hot. I like to try to do 2 sips. The first thing I'm noticing on this, so first let's talk about just the notes. It arrives hot, but a little bit lighter than previous releases. I'm getting a lot of cherry, orange, just kind of like fruit sweetness to it. As it develops, then you get the like brown sugar, the caramel, the roasted nuts, and the cinnamon. Little bit of spice. Then heavy hit of just hot. Hang on one second. So you get that like dense, dark chocolate, brown sugar, the vanilla frosting, a bit of the cinnamon. This is actually it's a bit more heavy on the dark chocolate. The finish is actually probably not as impressive as I would have expected. It's about medium. You get a nice, again, you get this drying dark chocolate. There is still this hint of ethanol that's kind of lingering through. Not nearly as complex as I usually get on these. Vanilla frosting, a little bit of honey, a little bit of maple syrup. It's not nearly as viscous as I usually get on these. Bear with me here. God, that nose is just delicious, though. It's a fantastic nose. Ready. Like cinnamon sugar, like buttery toast with cinnamon sugar on it. Wow. There's a sharpness to this. So one of the things I mentioned, I'd go back to the B520. It almost borders on a sour note as it goes into the finish here. So every one of these releases is going to be hot. I mean, it's barrel proof whiskey. You're going to get this no matter what brand you buy. The thing that I found very unique about the B520 Match is that when you drink it neat, it was so well rounded. Now, most of these whiskeys are pretty rounded and have a nice kind of, they have a little bit of edge to it. This one, surprisingly, is a lot of edge. And in this finish, I'm getting a heavy dose of kind of ethanol and mint. Like almost like an Andes candy, like those chocolate mints. But it's not like the most enjoyable. To be honest, this is not quite hitting all the marks. I'm a little disappointed so far. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, the finish is a bit shorter. It just doesn't seem completely put together. But there's this like bitterness. Man, I don't know. It's almost like orange peel. It's very, very interesting. Not something I usually get on this. And this mint. Bordering on peppermint even. I'll leave the cork off this for just a second. I'm going to pour a little bit more, just to be honest with you. I'm going to pour just a bit more. Let's try this with a bit of water. So this one's only 59. Now, this is a little bit lower. It's not crazy amount lower, but it's a bit lower than normal for these releases. This one I'm bringing down to, who knows? I mean, probably sub 50%. I put about 5 drops on. I'm trying to see if I can kill that ethanol. Nose is still about the same. Ready, honey, cinnamon sugar, oak char, ethanol. It does still have that kind of warm center of like burnt brown sugar. That's still there. The nose has so far been the most enjoyable part. Let's see how this tastes with water. Arrives really sweet. Again, almost like cherry fruit. There's a little bit almost like cotton candy, like a wild turkey. Mint chocolate chip ice cream kind of thing. Vanilla frosting. But man, as it goes into the development, you get hit with this heavy spice, a little bit of ethanol, and increasingly mint / like bitter citric note, which I have to admit is a little off-putting for this because it's not balanced. It's like somebody made you an old-fashioned and put too much bitters in it. You have that oranginess, but like it's just, yeah. And the finish, man, y'all, this one's not great. I'm just gonna say it. It's not. This is really hard for me to say. This is not one of the better releases. It's just missing something. It's missing some balance, and I mean, again, for a barrel proof bourbon, balance is a relative term, but like it's missing a kind of a harmony that these usually have. Who knows? Maybe it'll get a little bit better with oxygen, but I'm struggling a bit on this one, y'all. Wow. This is different. If you like a lot of bitter, almost like sour notes in your whiskey, I mean, this is a good release for you. But boy, I look back at some of the others. They just had a much more sticky kind of almost dessert decadent like quality to it. I mean, we'll give it some time, of course, but usually something should be good off the barrel. And the B520, for example, the A120, the A121, like those were damn good right away. This one's missing a little bit, and it's a little disjointed. It's a bit too bitter and a bit too. This citrus note, this citric note, this mint is like, and the ethanol is just way out of place for me. It's interesting. Is it a miss? I don't know. It's hard for me to say, and I'm usually really generous with these because I think they're just so stellar. But I'll be honest with you. This one, I think if this is your first one, you might love it. But if this is one and you've had a couple of these, I think this one will disappoint you. I don't think I could even go over a 4 on this. I mean, I think this is like 3.5, maybe less 3.25. God, I can't believe I'm saying that about an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, but I mean, this is forgettable. We'll see. We'll sip on it a little bit as we go along here, but the nose, thumbs up. The palate, neutral. The finish, no. It really kind of just goes down, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I think this is. I think this is probably. I mean, you got to think about the price here. I mean, these are not cheap. Sometimes you can find them around 60 if you're lucky, but normally these are 70, 80 bucks. And I'm thinking you're paying $80 for this. I mean, this is maybe a 3. I think we'll stick with a 3. It's average. But for an $80 whiskey, like especially bourbon, I think you want a little bit more than what you're getting out of this. I wonder if they just use bad casks. Tired cask? Or just, I mean, it's just, well, they wouldn't use tired cask. It's just that it's like, it's over oaked, maybe, and not in a good way. I thought the C920 was a bit over oaked, but I came around on that. This one, I don't know. It's still not, it's just not going away. It's almost like, it's like has a vermouth finish, like a red vermouth finish or something like that. Oh man, sort of a bummer. I suppose they can't all be, 5-star winners. Yeah, I mean, I'm 3 on this. 3 out of 5. Maybe I'll revisit it later. God, that finish is just leaves a lot to be desired. Well, I'm gonna say I'm a bit surprised. I'm not gonna say that this was what I expected, because it was not. Huh. 1 second. Okay. Just as a point of reference, I have the A120. Just as a point of reference, I just want to, and I'm going to go neat. Obviously, this bottle's been open for a while. Darker, deeper notes on the nose. Black cherry. That cinnamon spice. Let's try a taste. I just want to make sure I'm right. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, you could probably hear it. This like lip smacking stickiness of this. This is much, much richer, darker flavors, more pronounced flavor. Much, yeah. Color-wise, it's darker too. This one's almost 8% more ABV, but yeah, okay. I just wanted to gut check this, y'all. I wasn't quite sure if I was like, maybe that Glenmorangie put a weird taste in my mouth or something, but no. This is what you expect out of an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It's sticky, it's rich, dark notes, and they go all the way through. Yeah. And this is higher ABV, and even neat, it doesn't have as much ethanol bite as the other one. Yeah. 3 out of 5, y'all. Buy a different batch if you find it. If you really need to get yourself some Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, I suppose get this new one, but I think this one might end up being in the forgettable pile. There you go. That's my 2 cents. What a bummer. Glad I only bought one this time. Usually I get 2 of these. I only grabbed one. Well, to be completely honest, it's because there was only one on the shelf. But I have seen it since then. I just didn't grab it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. All right. So we just went through the new Elijah Craig. This is the Barrel Proof batch B521. 3 out of 5 is my initial score for this. 59.1% ABV, et cetera, et cetera. Let me catch up on the chat here, because I've fallen quite behind. This one definitely different from the 2020 releases. Yeah. I mean, I suppose I just kind of said all that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was, those were definitely there. I'm going to, for sure. Hey, Nathan Redmond, what's up, buddy? Still have yet to find a bourbon you like. Oh, you might have just put down the challenge. I'll tell you, there's one that I think you might like. It's called Rabbit Hole Derringer with a PX. It has a PX Pedro Jimenez finish. That whiskey is rapidly finding itself to be something I can't not drink, and it is probably going to be in my whiskey top 5 this year. Keep an eye out for that if you like a good sherry. I think he is a Scotch man. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Mo Grizz, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I was a bit disappointed with this batch. Overall, it's a great bourbon, but it's too oaky. Yeah, you noticed the ethanol tinge. Yeah, with the price, it's like, man, you could spend $30 or $20 less and get yourself like a Prohibition edition Old Forester. There's a lot. Man, I'm not even sure this is better than like a Four Roses single barrel. I've noticed that. I tend to lean towards the A batches. But yeah, we'll see. Hey, what's up? It's Andrew Page. He's beaming his signal from Maine tonight. Family vacation, buddy? Glad you could stop in and hang out, man. Yeah, the ethanol, man. You're right. You're totally right. Agreed with you on that. It is a solid bourbon. Totally agree. Timothy Juarez, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Yes, I agree. It is definitely rare. I don't even remember the last time I saw one. I think there was a release it might have been the B518, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been just below 60. I don't remember. But it was not, that one wasn't one of my favorites either. So I don't know. Maybe they just really do need this ABV. Yeah, man, I'm honestly pretty surprised. I didn't expect this. Well, I mean, they're 12 years old, and they're all 12-year-olds. I mean, that's getting high on the age for bourbon. But I know I take your point. I mean, maybe it was just these barrels just weren't great. I don't know. It's just kind of missing. It's been getting rough reviews. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, that's good. Same reaction. Well, that's good to know. I'm not totally crazy. I thought maybe my palate was off or something. Yeah, right. Peter White, bad palate. Maybe. I thought maybe so, but maybe not. Happens sometime. 519. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this one is, I don't know. I don't feel like it's you need to run out and buy it. Yeah, that's good to know. It's a good example of when not to put a barrel in the batch, because sometimes you just can't. Words of wisdom right here. Good point, Mo. The bottle of, well, that's not bad, but yeah, exactly, Dustin. Great to see you, man. Yeah, this one really, man, I'm bummed. I'm kind of bummed about this. Oh, it was the A121. But I thought that one was much better. Folks saying hi to Top Shelf Dustin. Great to have you in the house, Dustin, man. Hope you had a good 4th. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sit at 3 out of 5 on this just because I'm assuming there's going to be some upside. But, I'm usually well above 4 with the ECBPs. And I've even given some 5 out of 5 just because I think it's near perfect when you can take the value into consideration for a bourbon. But, comparing it to this other one, just to make sure my palate wasn't crazy, this is the A batch. It's just much better. Well, this is actually, I'm sorry, this is A120. But yeah, night and day. All right, y'all. Again, thanks for everybody for being here. We got 17 folks in the house, which is awesome. I'm glad to have everybody here. I'm going to get into a sample here shortly of another bourbon that was sent to me by Donner Pass Whiskey. Cheers again, Donner. I appreciate that. And, fair. Yeah, the B is really right. It's good bourbon, but it's not ECBP. But like when you factor in the fact that like most people would be paying like $85 for this, it's like, man, like that's a rough price for this one. Seriously, I'm disappointed. That's not something I usually say when I'm talking about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So, anyways, if you just joined, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, Telix the Whiskey Tech, he's been gone for 2 weeks. But he's back tonight, and we are checking out a Speyside single malt Scotch, Linkwood. We're going to be doing the 12-year-old Linkwood Flora and Fauna in hour number 1, and the Alexander Murray, 19-year-old, 1997 cast strength linkwood in our number 2. So I will drop the link in the chat once we are ready to go live with that, and I hope everybody can join, man. 4th was good. Mike and I did some reviews. Our Big 25. Oh, wow. Okay. By the way, folks, if you are into checking out Top Shelf whiskey reviews, this guy right here, along with Mike of what was formerly Mike's Whiskey Reviews, have a channel called Top Shelf Whiskey, where they're doing higher end stuff, I think for the most part, right? Without exception, pretty much, covering the higher end stuff. And so if you want to watch them do their work and their magic, it's a good show, and hear about some whiskeys that you may never get your hands on, that's the channel. Check them out. Have to say, of my disappointed purchases are bourbons, not ryes, scotches, and peated scotches. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I thought the A121 was really good. It just, maybe not the best, but this is barely, I mean, this is almost like a mixer. I think it would work really well in like a Manhattan, like an old fashioned, because it's got that bitter citric note. Like, you might not even need to put your orange peel in that. It's strange, man. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move along. I am going to pour out a sample. So, as some of y'all may remember from a few weeks back, I hadn't had a Booker's in a couple of years. And to mark my move to Chicago, I bought the Booker's 2001-01, which is called something. I don't know. I can't even tell what it's called, but it's something batch. It's actually pretty damn good. I was happy with it. I mean, overpaid for it, as you do with Booker's, but it was pretty good. But what I got here, and this, I'd love to hear what folks in the chat, if you have any favorite releases from Booker's or don't like Booker's or got opinions on Booker's in general. This is a sample sent to me by Donner Past Whiskey. So shout out to you, Donner. This is Booker's 2017. So this one's from like 4 years ago. This is the second release. It's 63.7%, and it's called the Blue Knights batch. I think this is going to be a really good pour to do against what this Elijah Craig that we had, which didn't quite win. So let's see how this Booker stands up. Now, this is probably almost 5 years younger, if not 6. Bookers are usually within that 6.5 year, sometimes push 7-year-old range. Let's see how this one stands up. Again, cheers, Donner Past Whiskey, for the sample here. It's amazing. This is, 5% more ABV, but not nearly the ethanol that I was getting on that new Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Yeah. This has got a nice spice to it, though. Again, warming. It's got a lot of those signature bourbon notes. It does have a nice spice. Caramel, brown sugar. There's a no, I can't quite put my finger on it. Has anybody else had the Blue Knights batch from Booker's? I suppose I can give a little bit of background for those who know. So Booker's is from Jim Beam, and it's basically their uncut, unchill filtered whiskey. The mash bill, it comes from the same mash bill as Knob Creek and Baker's. So basically it's, whatever you want to say, the same whiskey, sort of, just aged differently. The mash bill is the exact same though. There is a herbalness to this. There's like a sharp dill. Is it dill or like bitter parsley that I honestly don't pick up much in many Booker's releases, but I'm going to give this a taste. I'm assuming Donner Pass sent me this for a reason, so I'm excited. Cheers, y'all. Happy Tasty Tuesday. I'll tell you right now, this is better than that Elijah Craig. Hot, yes. It's 64% ABV. But the sweetness, it's much richer. What I thought was really off on this Elijah Craig was it was kind of languid. It was like medium. It didn't have that stickiness to it. This has it. I'm assuming this is probably 6.5 years. I don't know. Those Bookers are kind of all the same. Now, Booker's comes in at a higher price. Probably isn't worth it most of the time. But it's good stuff if it was priced right. This has got an interesting kind of earthy herbalness to it. It's much more complex than this Elijah Craig I was drinking. I know these are a little bit apples to oranges, but it's almost like a sweet rye. And I don't think the rye mash bill is very high in the Knob Creek, but this almost has a rye quality to it. Toffee, dried honey, a little bit of maple syrup, milk chocolate, not dark chocolate. Yeah. It's good. It handles the heat better than this one. This Elijah Craig does that for sure. This is an exercise in contrast. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah. That makes right. Yep. That makes total sense. Nice. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of those. Those are staples. I don't know. That I don't know. Oh, so the one that I have up there is called the Donahoe's batch. It's quite good. Again, it's not worth the price, but it's good. Yeah, cheers. Appreciate that, y'all. Oh, this is sorry if I didn't. This is Booker's 2017-02 Blue Knights batch. This is from Donner Pass Whiskey. Yeah, so this is from a couple of years back. That was the year. So the first Booker's bottle I ever bought was the 2018-01 Kathleen's batch, which I thought was really quite good. But again, it's the price. Here's Donner. That Booker's I've had were from 2016, 17. So I don't know how many of the recent ones are. I know they got a little younger. Again, I think the problem with Booker's is I think people in the whiskey community, we would probably pick them up and enjoy them more if they were still at reasonable prices. The problem is that I think their marketing combined with the whiskey hype is that people are just overpaying. I mean, they're like $100 now. I paid over $80 for the Donahoe's batch, which is, I mean, I bought it just for the hell of it, but I haven't bought a Booker's in years for pretty much that reason. I mean, would I pay $65 for a Booker's? Yeah, but I mean, it was $100. That's too much. So I don't know what these were back in the day. Yeah, it's 2017-02. It is Blue Knights batch. Knights as in like Knights of the Round Table, that kind of thing. It's probably 6 years, 7 months, something like that. I'm not going to be surprised. I haven't had any of the little books yet. 13% rye like Wild Turkey. 6 years, 3 months. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's even a little bit younger. So this Donahoe's one that I have is 6 years, 8 months. So that's the 2021-01. After Country Ham and Beaten Biscuits, I personally have not got another Booker's anywhere. Where did they go? I've heard good things about the Country Ham. In fact, I think I had some of that. Daniel sent me a sample. That was quite good. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's not $100 good, but it's good. I mean, if they were at reasonable prices, I'd be happy. Cheers, man. I appreciate that. All good, man. Take care. Yeah. Patreons, keep your eyes open. Tomorrow morning, you will get early access to my next review, which will drop Friday for everybody else. It's a showdown. It's a versus video. Ardbeg Scorch Committee release versus Ardbeg Scorch Limited Edition. You'll enjoy it. Yes. That's from like 2015 or something like that. Yeah, I don't think anybody can get their hands on that. I had one from that year. I had the 2015 05. I sold it. I don't remember what it was called. Something batch. Again, I mean, it is what it is. I will say this Blue Nights batch is nice. It's got a nice kind of dusty note to it, which you usually get from Booker's. There's just these classic, like you walked into a country bar and ordered a shot on a hot night. Like that's what I feel like when I drink Booker's. I really enjoy this. It's got some of that kind of peanut note, but it's slight. A little bit of ethanol, but what do you expect? Look, if somebody pours this for me, I'm not going to turn it down ever. And in fact, I quite enjoy it, as I am this one. Man, there's a nice, as this sat here and oxidized, there's this nice, like, I want to make sure I get this right. It's like an Oreo, but it was like mint cream instead of like the regular white cream. It's a good one. Thank you, Donner Pass. I'm enjoying this. Booker's just has that rich creaminess to it. Like I think all of the batches that you ever try from them, it just has that kind of toffee caramel, just sticky richness, which, you know, not the most complex note in the world, but it's pretty damn delicious in its own right. And this one's got it going in spades. I'm going to drop a few little drops of water on this. So just so everybody knows, we're about 15 minutes in until Telex and Malt Show. It's been a 2-week hiatus, but we're coming back. It's Linkwood tonight. So if you know anything about the Linkwood distillery or want to learn about it, we're going to be doing a 12-year-old flora and fauna release. Telex will tell us what the hell that means, because I, to be honest, still don't quite understand it. It's like some type of thing Diageo does. I don't know. Hour number 2, we're doing this one. This is it's from Alexander Murray, who's kind of a hit and miss independent bottler. This is a 19-year-old Linkwood, distilled in 1997. This is 53.8% cask strength. So we'll have that going tonight as well. It'll be good to get the show back going after 2 weeks off, and hope some of you guys can join us. I'll drop that link in the chat, right as we get closer to the top of the hour, which, should be about 10 minutes from now. Looks like Telex should have the link up soon. I'll make sure to drop this into the chat for everybody. And yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying it. Sorry this Elijah Craig Barrel Proof isn't worth running out and buying, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's just not. I'm honestly kind of depressed about it. It isn't worth running out and buying. What the hell happened here? Okay, sorry. I was looking for the Telex link, and then this came up. Yeah, this is a bummer, man. It is what it is. Hey, Ben Demon Hunter's in the house. What's up, man? Only Jim Beam product I've had samples grams of the white label Baker 7. Well, yeah, the KC 9-year 120 is that's your jam right there. Can't go wrong with it. In the States, we're really lucky. So the Knob Creek 9-year-old 120, that's a single barrel. They're all 60% ABV. But here in the States, they have a really great, and I talk about this in a bit in my review. They have a great barrel select program. So a lot of liquor stores will pick barrels. Here locally for me, Binny's just picked like 6 barrels of Knob Creek single barrel. They're like $50. You can find them. Sometimes they're going to be like 13-year, 14-year, even 15-year barrels of this stuff. And yeah, one of the best values in bourbon. It comes in at a high ABV. Not the most complex bourbon in the world, but it checks every box, and you can put it up against basically anything. I'm a big fan. There you go. Belit. All right. Oven Buster was the 4th release from 2015. Okay. Oh, mine was called the Mawmaws batch, which was the 05. He's right about that. Good point. Saying hi to the Demon Hunter. Cheers. Wow. That's not a bad, it's not a bad batch to get. At the end of the day, you can't really go wrong with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, but I would say if you're looking to buy your first bottle, if this is the first bottle you're going to get, it's nowhere to go but up. If the first one you get is this B521, you're going to be like, wow, that's pretty good, but it's not as mind-blowing as people on the internet are saying. Just wait. Get another batch, the newer one or an older one. You'll see. It's not, it isn't a world beater. It's unfortunate, but hey, whatever. I guess they were due for a less than stellar release. I mean, the B batch from last year, I still think is one of the best I've ever had. One of the best bourbons I've ever had. I bought backups of that. If you ever see a B520 out on the shelves, grab it without hesitation. I would even go upwards of $80 to $90 for it. It's that good. It's one of the best releases I think that I've had from them in the last couple of years, no doubt. Yeah, for sure. ML Muser, having never had Stag Junior, could you compare? So Stag Junior is interesting. The early Stag Juniors, probably like the first 9 batches of it, were quite subpar. They were very, very unbalanced, kind of all over the place, which really turned me off of Stag Junior, and I didn't feel like it was worth hunting. Now, since then, they've turned the corner, and I think that their releases have got a lot better. I think it's good head-to-head against Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. The Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is 10 years old. The Stag Junior tends to be even more expensive, even though it's younger, and I think in part that's due to just the name. I've had some samples of later ones. They are really, really good. I still think I would grab an ECBP over a Stag Junior, but it would depend. Batch for batch. Right now, to be completely honest with you, I would take some of the barrel bourbon releases over any of them, but that's just me. I think you can always pretty much depend on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, although today's tasting notwithstanding. Stag Junior, you see somebody trying to sell you like a batch 5 or a batch 7 for like, $180, hard pass. They're not that good. They're very, very messy. They're hot. They're disjointed. Now the later releases, batch 12, batch 13, 14, 15, those are much better. But the prices are just crazy. So that's basically the best I can tell you on that. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because you'll see. I'll be looking forward to your response to it, but I could only call it like I saw it. SMWS is releasing an X Oloroso Peated Buna. Yeah, hook me up with that. Cohen's in the house. Russell's 13 is the only thing I want currently in bourbon. Have you found some? They got released to a few binnies here in Chicagoland, and I missed it. I was trying to get there, but I got there too late. Good to see you, man. Oh, well, you have the right bottle, Cody. NoCal in the house. We got SoCal in the house with Cohen. Northern California Dram Dude. Yeah, that's the one to have, man. That's undeniable in my opinion. That's the best release they've done probably since I started really getting into them, and that was 2017. Yes, exactly. Total hot mess. Yeah. They've turned the corner. But yeah, the early releases are forgettable at best. Eric Waite. Okay, yeah, he might have done some. I haven't seen anything, but yeah. So Patreons, look in your inbox tomorrow. Again, appreciate your support. My review of those two will be in your inbox tomorrow morning, and will be posted on the channel as always on Friday. And I'm looking forward to sharing what I had to say about it. I'll leave it at that for now. Yeah, I think they're like 16 now. I'm not sure. I think so. I haven't really been following it. Only have had a sample Stag Junior in 11, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, the 11. Okay. At Andrew Page, I bought Boona last month, and it was astonishing. Good to know. James Chang's in the house. What's up? B520 is my first mind-blowing bourbon. Yeah, that one. And like I was kind of saying earlier, and I actually mentioned this in my review of it, like having had the opportunity to have a bunch of them, look, they're barrel proof, so they're always going to be hot. They're always going to have a little roughness around them. But I'll tell you, that B520 batch, it's like it's so well-rounded. I couldn't believe how well-rounded it was for, something that's 62% that one is? Great bourbon. Yeah, you'll love it. I'll be curious to hear what you have to say about it. Hell yeah. Good pick, James. Yeah, that one's really good. You might want to watch the playback if you missed it. This B521 kind of misses the mark a little bit. Peter White just got an Aaron 14 Pinot Noir cask. That sounds amazing. That sounds really good, brother. Anyway, so this Booker's, just quick kind of wrap on this. Again, Donner Pass Whiskey, thank you for this sample. I'm really enjoying this. This one, this one rises above the Elijah Craig for sure. This is the 2017-02, so it's a bit old. It's called the Blue Knights batch. I'm getting a really nice blueberry muffin note on this, which I've never got on a bourbon before. I quite enjoy this. This one I would price, who knows how much it is, but if you could still find this at its regular retail, this is like a 3.75. It's got complexity. It's got that richness, a little bit of that dusty peanut note that you get on many Jim Beam products. Quite enjoy it. And a delicious whiskey to have here in a hot summer. Okay, y'all. It looks like the Telex has got the link up, so I'm going to drop this in the chat. We are going to be heading on over here in just a few minutes. As I mentioned, Telex is back after a 2-week hiatus. We are going to be doing Linkwood, 12-year-old Flora and Fauna. So we're getting back into some single malts, y'all. Flora and Fauna release from Linkwood. Telex will tell us what that means because I don't really know. And then in hour number 2, Alexander Murray, which is an independent bottler. You've probably seen these if you have a big box retailer liquor store. They're a little hit and miss, but the one that we're going to check out tonight, we'll let you know. This is a 19 years old cask strength, 1997 distilled, 53.8% Linkwood. So Linkwood is a Speyside distillery. We're going to tell you all about it on the show. And really excited to get back into Telex and Malt Show. Peel is in the house. What's up? How are things in India, my friend? He's coming in from Delhi. Excited to have you here, man. And IC86 is heading on over. Here is that link again. We will be live in just a few minutes. So looking forward to hanging with everybody, man. And if you can't join, keep in mind Scorch versus Scorch review coming out on Friday here on the channel. So if you are not a subscriber, maybe you'll consider becoming one after tonight's show. Would love to have you on. I'm on the march towards 1,000 subs. I think I'm at 850 something. So every subscription helps, man. Appreciate it. And smash that thumbs up before you head out the door. One more time for good measure. Here is that link. And hey, everybody, I will see you guys in a few moments for Telex and Malt Show on Tasty Tuesday over on Telex, the Whiskey Text channel. Stay safe, be well. Catch you guys in a few minutes. Cheers. Yeah, maybe next time. Let's hope. I am going to enjoy this Booker's, though. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys over there.